Why it sucked to be a tomb builder in Deir el-Medina? Imagine yourself waking to the sound of wind sliding through dry palm fronds. The sun is not yet visible, but its presence is already felt pressing low, heavy, and inevitable on the horizon. You are a tomb worker, a builder of eternity, and the desert does not wait. Deir el-Medina, your home, lies tucked between cliffs on the west bank of the Nile. From a distance, it looks like a scattering of stone and mud brick. But for generations, it has been the beating heart of Egypt's most sacred labor. The royal tombs, the resting places of pharaohs, do not build themselves. The day begins early. Always. A thin porridge, if you're lucky. A scrap of bread, dry and tough, if not. Then, tools in hand, you join the procession of men winding toward the Valley of the Kings. The path is narrow and always uphill. Your skin prickles. Not from the sun yet, but from the stories. Whispers of curses, of ghosts. Even you, trained in the art of death, know better than to mock such things. Your work site is no place of reverence. It is stone, dust, and sweat. The tomb's interior is black at first cool, and still like the belly of a sleeping beast, but it does not stay cool for long. By midday, the air inside is thick, the smell of lime wash and sweat. The silence broken only by the rasp of chisels, the occasional cough, the sigh of effort. Stone yields slowly, painfully. You chip, you smooth, you sweat. You do this for hours, then days, then years. Sometimes you hear laughter, not the kind that lifts the heart, no. A sharp knowing laugh from the foreman when he sees you've cracked a panel, or from the overseer when he catches someone resting in the shade too long. Punishment is rare, but always possible. This is a royal project. Precision is sacred. Injury? Common. Your hands are calloused and cracked. Infection is a risk, even from a chipped fingernail. Still, you return. Because the pay for a time is better than a farmer's, and the work some say is blessed. But even here, surrounded by carvings of gods, you know fear. Fear of thieves who will one day break in to steal what you build. Fear of curses set in the wall, warning against desecration. Fear of the gods, who you must honor, even as you toil beneath their painted eyes. You rest only briefly. Lump of salted fish. Maybe a date, if the rations are generous. And water never enough. Always warm, always laced with grit. When the sun finally lowers and the foreman grunts the signal to go, you stagger out of the tomb, blinking, covered in stone dust that settles into your eyelashes and your lungs. The world is gold, now bathed in sunset, but you are too tired to admire it. You shuffle back to Deir el-Medina, to your wife, perhaps, to a child's voice, if you are lucky, to your narrow home with its low walls and flickering oil lamp, and then to sleep, because tomorrow you do it again. Not for glory, not for treasure, but for survival. Because this is what it means to build a tomb for a god king, knowing you'll never see the light inside once it is sealed and still. You return. A palace conspiracy full of wives, curses, and shocking forensic clues. Let us move now. From the dust of the tombs to the hushed corridors of the palace. You are no longer a laborer, but a listener in the shadows watching as power moves behind curtained doors, where words are weapons and trust is fleeting. The year is around 1155 BCE. The ruler of Egypt is Ramesses, the third last of the great warrior pharaohs. He reigns during a time of slow decline. The empire is fraying at the edges. Grain is scarce. Foreign enemies gather at the borders, within the walls of the palace. Something darker brews. Ramesses is not young. He's experienced, but tired. He has ruled for over 3 decades, fought off invasions, built monuments, and tried to hold together the legacy of his namesake, the great Ramesses II. But even pharaohs are vulnerable, especially to those closest to them. Imagine the palace at Medinet Habu. It is grand, yes, but not peaceful. Servants move with careful steps. Scribes whisper behind papyrus scrolls. And in the harem, behind thick walls, a different kind of plotting unfolds. Here resides Queen Tanat, the great royal wife, but one of many consorts. Her son Pentawaret is a prince, but not the crown prince. And that, perhaps, is where the trouble begins. Whispers grow. There is dissatisfaction, even rage. Tai believes her son should inherit the throne, and she is not alone. Others join her: scribes, servants, palace guards, even court magicians. A web of betrayal begins to form silently, deliberately. You must picture it as a slow tightening of threads, not a single strike, but a careful weaving of plans. The plot is later known as the Harem Conspiracy, a plan to murder the pharaoh, or replace him with another. But palace conspiracies are fragile things. The plan unravels. Some say it was betrayed by a servant. Others believe the gods themselves intervened. Ramesses III does not live long beyond the attempt, dies in unclear circumstances. But it is only in our own modern era, thousands of years later, that the full truth begins to surface. In 2011, scientists examined the mummy of Ramesses III using CT scans, and what they discover is chilling. A deep wound clean, decisive across the throat. His trachea is severed, a cut so lethal it could only mean one thing: assassination. He did not die of old age. He was killed, executed in silence. And the evidence was wrapped carefully into his linen bandages for eternity. The conspirators. Some were captured, tried, and punished. The records describe them in sterile, official language. They caused the enemies of the king to act against him. Pentawerid, the prince at the center of it all, is forced to die by his own hand, perhaps by poison, perhaps by dagger. His body, if it is his, is found in an unusual state, mummified in haste. No embalming fluid, no honor. A scream seems frozen on his face. The screaming mummy, as some call him. But there are no screams now, only stillness. The kind that settles after a great silence, or after justice, however dark, has been served. And so Ramesses III, last of the warrior pharaohs, passes into eternity not on the battlefield, but at the hands of his own household. A reminder that even kings may fall not from spears or swords, but from secrets. Uncovering theories behind one of archaeology's most debated absences, let us drift now from palace shadows to the open plateau of Giza, a place where stone meets sky, where time, wind, and wonder have left their mark. Here sits the great Sphinx, ancient, immense, infamously incomplete. You know it well. The lion's body, the human face, and the most famous missing nose in the world. But why is it missing? That question has echoed for centuries, whispered by visitors and historians alike. There is no definitive answer-only theories, each stranger and quieter than the last. Imagine standing before it. You feel the sand beneath your feet. It shifts slightly, whispering against your sandals. The Sphinx looms above, more than 70 feet tall, eyes eternally forward. But its face is altered. And here begins the mystery. The oldest surviving images of the Sphinx, including sketches from the 15th century, already show the nose missing, which means the damage occurred long before cameras, long before tourists. One theory, often repeated but largely debunked, blames Napoleon. According to legend, his soldiers used the Sphinx for target practice in the late 1700s, but sketches made before his arrival already showed the missing feature. It is a story of conquest, but not of accuracy. A more credible account comes from an Egyptian historian in the 1400s. He wrote of a Sufi mystic named Muhammad Sahim al-Dar who, in a fit of religious fury, defaced the statue. It was, he believed, an Adila, symbol of paganism, and so he struck at its face. For this act, the legend says, he was executed. But his blow remained. Could it be true? Perhaps. Perhaps erosion played a role. Wind-blown sand, lashing across centuries, can do more than sting the eyes. It can wear away features carved from softer limestone. A slow, invisible vandalism, patient as time itself. There is also another theory, quieter, less dramatic, that quarry workers in later dynasties used the nose as a convenient source of stone, pulled free and repurposed, not out of malice, but necessity, and so we are left with absence. The nose, believed to have been over a meter long, is simply gone. No fragments recovered, no records discovered, only the void. And this, in a way, is the most fitting answer, because the Sphinx has always straddled opposites. Man and beast, earth and sky, silence and question. Its missing nose is not merely damaged, is a symbol. a reminder of what we do not know, what time erases. As you lie here listening, imagine the breeze passing across that ancient face, soft now, sifting through centuries, carving silence into stone. Incense rituals, sacred duties, and immense political power behind the scenes. Let us move now. From mysteries carved in stone to quiet courtyards where smoke rises and the air is thick with the scent of incense. You are no longer a builder or a watcher of conspiracies. You are a priest, a servant of the gods, a man of words, rituals, and sacred rhythms. You reside in Thebes, the city of temples. Your days unfold within the towering walls of Karnak or Luxor, great complexes dedicated to Amun, Mut, and Khonsu. Unlike the dusty, labor-filled lives of the poor, yours is one of order, of structure and ceremony, yet it too is a kind of burden. Your morning begins before sunrise. The city is quiet. The Nile glistens faintly in the dark, but within the temple, there is movement. By torchlight, you and your fellow priests prepare to awaken the god. This is not symbolic, it is believed to be real. The statue of Amun, kept hidden deep within the sanctuary, must be washed, dressed, and fed. You purify yourself in sacred pools, rinse your hands with natron, and don fresh white linen robes. No ordinary mortal may see the god, so you enter alone or in small groups, eyes lowered. Inside, the air is still, thick with centuries of devotion. You recite the words exact and memorized with slow, practiced breath. The statue is cleansed, anointed with oil, perfumed, and given food offerings. Then, once the god has been honored, he is sealed again behind sacred doors. And your attention turns outward to the people, the festivals, the management of temple estates, because your role is not just spiritual, it is economic and political. The great temples of Thebes control land, labor, and wealth. Vast estates, herds of cattle, workshops, and granaries fall under your administration. You oversee not only prayers but taxes, harvests, and law. And here lies the hidden truth. As pharaohs grow weaker, the priesthood of Amun grows stronger. Some say too strong. By the time of the 21st dynasty, temple priests in Thebes wield more power than the throne itself. The high priest is no longer a servant of the state. He is a ruler in all but name. And yet, even with all this influence, your life remains governed by strict routine. You rise with the sun, you chant hymns. You burn incense, frankincense, myrrh, cedar. You participate in processions, carry sacred barks, and interpret the will of the divine through omens, dreams, and signs in the stars. You eat simply, bread, onions, perhaps fish. You fast on certain days. You abstain from indulgence, and through it all, you listen, for the god might speak. In a dream, in a stirring of the air within the sanctuary, or through the rustle of leaves beside the sacred lake, yours is a life of quiet power, cloaked in secrecy. The people revere you, nobles respect you. But you belong not to yourself, but to the divine rhythm of ritual, day after day, year after year. And when your service ends, buried with amulets, scrolls, and prayers, to pass, you hope, into a realm where the gods speak freely, and all is light. And so, dear listener, you have journeyed across the many faces of ancient Egypt. You have toiled in the cliffs of Deir el-Medina, walked among conspirators in royal halls, stared up at the face of the Sphinx, wondering what once was, and knelt within sanctuaries that smelled of frankincense and stone. You have glimpsed the lives behind the myths. Not just the golden mask of Tutankhamun or the towering pyramids, but the aching muscles, the whispered fears, the silent ambitions. And now perhaps your eyes grow heavy. Let them. The past is vast, and the night is long. Let the sands of time settle gently around you. Let the Nile's quiet current carry you toward sleep, and may you rest, as even the pharaohs once did, beneath the stars. Good night.